Hello everyone, welcome to Game Cave updates. So I'm doing a new recording process, so just bear with me as I sort of work out a new way of doing this. So let me give you all an update. I have been posting regularly, like on the Facebook and with the streams on YouTube. Not so much on the Kickstarter, mostly because people were complaining. I'd say I'd get about 4 or 5 a week of, hey, when I was doing it like weekly, hey, you're filling out my streams. I don't see it anyway. So then I said, okay, I'll just work on it and post it daily in the Facebook. If someone brings it up, I'll just say, hey, I'm over here. I'm still producing the book. Uh, but what to do, right? So I'm working out a good schedule for this. I'm going to give you a little quick update on what's been going on with me. If you want to see more on the book and the big update, just check out the video below called What is Game Cave, and I'll run through a really big detailed update. I've already made a pre-made video for that. But this is on top of that, like all the privacy and stuff. So if you want to get right to the status update and everything I've been working on, just go check that out and come back here and you can hang out with me for a bit. So let me go through my checklist. So let's see here. Is the book still being made? Yes. Let's just get that out of the way. If you go watch What is Game Cave, you will see. Book is still being made. It's pretty crazy. Is it taking 2 years? Yeah, it's been taking me 2 years. Really, I'd say closer to about a year because I really didn't start the writing process until last summer. It took from October of 2013 to July just to develop the story in the universe, and then I spent July through December writing and building everything, and then I kind of overproduced on the words per book. And look, this has been a colossal learning experience. So everyone's been pretty good. I'd say 99.99999% of you have been like totally cool. It's coming out. It's coming out. You're gonna get. What I'm gonna do for this one is you're gonna get the book. You're gonna get a special version. What I'm gonna do is make certain that there's like a special gold alpha backer. Whatever version you guys get will be exclusively like primo. So because I have backed, gotta be like 30, 40 Kickstarters. So some of them have shipped perfectly on time. Others have shipped years late. So, I get it. You know what I mean? But I want to make sure that you get not just an awesome product, but you also get something that, no one will ever be able to get again. So there'll be a version of this that you get. In the meantime, there have been a few reasons for delays beyond just producing work. The workload is what it is. The other big reason, obviously, was the stuff that happened last year with the business, and that got squared away. Then I had to get a job, and I recently got laid off. So the job lasted about a year, and I'm right back where I started. So nothing stopped. So you guys know I make 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours a day to work on Game Cave, whether I want to or not. And believe me, folks, there are days I don't want to do nothing. Right? It's freaking hot. I'm dying. I find a way to do something. And the reason why is just because, when you're in the middle of the production, it's kind of towards the end. It's just where I'm just drawing things. It's a little not as exciting, that is that. There's also a learning curve, and one of the learning curves that I'm coming up against is how to build all this stuff and paint it and do things responsibly. I'm self-taught. I did go to art school, but it was a colossal waste of money. I mostly learned how to make videos. I did a little bit of 3D, and then spent a lot of time doing 2D animation, which, that's a booming industry in America, hand-drawn 2D animation. No Flash or motion graphics. We didn't do that shit. So I've had to, learn how to, this project has been a really great university in a way. It's been like a good 2-year diploma. So there's been that, but I still make time to do it no matter what. So during the day, I've been freelancing and trying to dig up some other work. I'll let you all know if you've been following me for any amount of years. I do not have drama. I know it seems I really I've had an interesting career, in a way, but don't have a lot of personal drama. This I didn't get to this because this happened and that happened and this happened. I'm a hermit that lives in his room and makes art. But I will admit that in the last 18 months, I've had more shit happen to me than Since the time I joined the army, as a left school, joined army, that kind of stuff. It's pretty big, between my father dying, and the business shit with Josh, and all the Kickstarter prints that I had to square away, and getting a new job, and then losing the job, and animals, dying, and it just I'm not a complainer, and I'll vent a little bit, on my own. But you don't come over here. I'm not gonna come over here and make this like, oh, feel sorry for me. It's life. Sometimes life happens. Opportunities occur during inopportune times, and misfortune occurs during, the unfortunate times. Unfortunate moments. When the best things happen to you, sometimes the worst things are gonna follow suit. So this is all part of the process. I've learned to live with it. But I can't control time, right? It just eats into the time. So, uh, as I continue this conversation forward, um, the goal is to produce at least one book a year. Once this one ships within 12 months, time, the second book, the third book. So this main story goes over 3 books. There's a story arc for Game Cave that exists over 9 books, like Star Wars in a way, right? And then there's some spots in between. So this is something I'm setting up for the next 10 to 20 years of my life. Like by the time I'm in my 50s, I'll have this Game Cave universe built. So long as there's still crowdfunding, so long as I can never have to worry about going to a publisher just to be able to make something and put it in your guys' hands, I'm in it for the long haul. So I'll always find a way, and it's based around having, you know, 3 to 4 hours a week to do that. And then again, as I get better at the process, you develop efficiencies, you develop tools. And I'll be sharing a lot of those tools individually as we go along. One of them that I've been developing is coloring with gradient maps. Take this piece of concept art right here for Butter Bay. This is where our story primarily takes place. This is a rough piece of concept art, did over about 2 hours, right? Just kind of sketching in the area. The entire thing is actually colored in black and white. All the color was made in gradient maps. And I go into this more detail in the What is Game Cave bit. Kind of explain. Before I would have had to grab all these different greens and manually paint them all in, and it's tiring. But the way it's set up is basically gradient maps are gradients. So if I come up with a dark green here to super lime, a gradient that goes across that spectrum, anything I select, it will take that gradient and apply it to things that are dark to light. So it looks like you got bushes and grass and leaves and foliage, but it's really just a gradient going from dark to light. So if you color in black and white, this way I can switch anything. If I wanted to do this exact same drawing, but make it snow time, I just have gradient maps for snow. Nighttime, gradient maps for night. I don't have to change the art tremendously. This is something that is pretty standard, like in digital painting and stuff, but I've had to learn on my own. I've done things the hard way where you manually paint all this crap in. But it's just not, one, it's not practical in terms of production. Two, it's not fun. It gets tedious. So with this, I'm able to really focus on the value, the lighting, and the black and white. And then I can come in as a colorist and be like, oh, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool, and I can add this over here. So, and we can go over Butter Bay a little bit. Like this was my initial map. This is the initial concept sketchy I did of this idea of a waterfall town, which I know there's one like in Star Wars. Sorry. I've had some coffee. Got like Naboo and shit, but I didn't want a copy of Star Wars at all. This was my initial idea in SketchUp when I thought I'd make it in 3D and just kind of like get an idea and kind of do some block modeling. But this is the actual like rough model, and you could see I've gone in and done some additional little basic building blocks here for Lead Heavy, who's doing 3D modeling right now of Butter Bay. And let's just take a quick look at some of that. I'll show you. So here, this was initial block model. I've had to make a lot of changes since then, which I didn't save. So if I just come here like this is too high up, these edges, it's going to come way down. But you can kind of see early on, the scale is all wrong on Game Cave. It's one of the things we talked about. Game Cave will be up here. So you're like, Rob, why are you making everything in 3D if it's a book? Well, a few reasons. Let me talk to you about the end game. The end game the goal, long term, over the next year or so, is to be able to export 3D models, paint them up, make them look kind of nice, like World of Warcrafty level of detail, and then be able to export them to VR right through Unity. So if you have a VR headset moving in the future, you can actually go to Game Cave. I want to create my own little, like, if I write a book and I, you know, can build this little city, you could actually go to these places, Um, so I want to start building 3D models based off this stuff now. So within a year or two, that is possible. At the very least, we'll start with Game Cave. You can actually go there, look around, and scale, see all the bookshelves, see all the stuff. It'd be like having my own little Disneyland. So this is way overdone. When Lead Heavy built this model, we failed to agree on a standard of scale. So I'll show you what we're doing about that right now. But this is Marketville. This is where a lot of shops are. This whole section of book goes through this area here, comes up into Game Cave. So there'll be the port town will come out this way. She still has to build. The rail yard will be over here. This will be Newtown. Back here will be Silverwood Mansion, which should be more like that. And this needs to come way down. But the scale is all off. But this is a good start. So we went over and did this. I usually record and live stream this, but let's just say that the current modeler is a little camera shy when it comes to that. So I will be going back over the notes afterward. But this is pretty cool, right? It's pretty good. So she's working on that now. What we did was work out the level of scale. So the next thing we did was we brought up some of the models made before, the Motherlode model, the Jolly Dagger model, and one of the Skull Fighters. So if I take this and bring that down and bring that this way, you're supposed to go to like ortho views when you do this, but I'm just being a little lazy. See if I can. So my reasoning for the scale was that this is the loading area for the Jolly Dagger, and so this would be equal to one person size right here. So based off that, these are that same thing brought across the different homes. The 1-story, the 2-story, the 3-story home, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 plus attic, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get it. You get a sense of how big a person is to the ship and to the home size. So based off that, she's going back to the Marketville and restructuring the sizing of everything. But how cool would it be to be able to actually go and walk on, the Motherlode? At least go up to the top deck, see everything, maybe go into a few different areas, take the elevator to a couple key rooms. I don't know about modeling the entire ship. That might take years. But, you come with a couple key areas you can go to, get the sounds, the textures, So, end goal. So, plus when I'm in the book and I have to draw areas and the whole town's mapped out, and it's pretty specific to like areas. I just want to be able to take the camera, and be able to be like, all right, there's this, or here's, Marketville, right? There's, if you want a nice sort of 3/4 thing, right? Or if we want the Final Fantasy VII key art, right? Or we can go right down the, you know, I would actually set up a camera for this. This is not the way you want to do it. But you actually set up a camera relative to the height of a person, and I can actually go in there and be like, all right, this is the rough scale. And then I could come in and actually draw in all the details and stuff. So, boom. So that's being done right now. One of the other things I cover in, hold on, that's my Mario art. Open. I was messing with gradient maps on that. Let me just open up something here. Go into Game Cave. I've been working This thing's taking a little bit longer. It's actually, come to find out, this is actually the most tedious piece of art to do other than that big landscape piece. Is map location. Is the poster, the first 2 pages of the world map, then you get some locations. Remember there's a pull-up, where there's a little fold-up poster I plan on printing, a little foldy poster. It's also going to include the Butter Bay. Let's see. Why did it not open? Oh, it's taking its sweet time. All right. Come on, Photoshop. So, there'll be all these locations on the different areas on the map that you can go through. And again, I cover this pretty much in the What is Game Cave video below, but I can already see I got these done and I'm just finishing up the last 6. So these are all colored using gradient maps. Some of them take 90 minutes, some of them take 4 hours, like this one and that one. So whatever. It's just a learning process. I'm not trying to kill myself on the level of detail, but definitely trying to give you a sense of where all this stuff actually looks like on the world map. So, but that's as far as I've gone there. I'm finishing up this week, and then I'm going to move right into the world map, which is going to be a truck of work. Of course, I record and live stream these things the whole time. So, again, I just want to give you all an update on where it's at, what I'm continuing to do. Right now, the big thing is finishing these locations, the world map, and then just moving on the key art. I have about 60 days of artwork to do, as long as there's no real interruption. So between now and November, December, so the artwork should be done. So the book should ship sometime between, I'd say, January and March of next year. Give or take the copy edit that has to come back. I want to make sure it gets copy edited and you guys get all that. So that can take a full month to get the whole book copy edited. So just bear with. In the meantime, again, tons of updates. The the other things I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be running a PowerPrint soon. Again, since I'm freelancing, freelance comes and goes, folks. It's not like you just keep working for people and they pay your bills. So I'm going to do some prints just to kind of like get some commissions going and get a little bit of like spare change in the coffers. To kind of keep up the freelance. Game Cave work doesn't stop. And then in between that, I got another project called Game Cave Universe, which is the code, which also takes place in Game Cave, that I spend maybe, I think right now it's 4 hours on the weekend. It's basically the time I used to spend playing video games. That was my free time. I'm spending working on something else Game Cave related. So, and I'll have more to talk about that then. But there is coming a point here really soon where the book and everything I've been doing consistently for the past 2 years will all like gel into a regular schedule. So it's very close. It's just been hard to, like anything else, to invent this. On the upside, I think I mentioned this before. I did show this to a publisher. Again, not to get them to publish it, just to get their opinion. Pretty big, one of the top 3 or 4. Not Marvel or DC, but let's just say there's letters, involved in their name. So do the math. And they were just blown away. So in a good way. So I'm really proud, of the effort it's taken. It's been a journey. So I just never want these to sound like, oh, Rob, you know what I mean? Like I'm coming out here and defending. Just sometimes, I did have 1 or 2 people the past couple of weeks be like, oh, your book's taking longer than Game of Thrones. And I'm like, the last book's taken 7 years. I don't see how. And I'm doing everything. Like, if this were just words, I'd think, hey, you got a point. But artwork, graphic design, game magazine / whatever, it's something else. So, whatever. One thing I can say is, without a doubt, I'm very proud. Very proud of the work. Very, Very proud of the work. Also as a bonus, go check out the Game Cave theme song. David Vitas put it together. It's an actual theme for Game Cave, and it's pretty awesome. He's a great composer. Has a good JRPG-ish feel. Can go a lot of different ways. I love it. So I'll put a link in there. You can listen to it. Give David some thumbs up. Thanks for your support, and I will be back to you. I'm gonna try to make it Thursdays, so it's way easier for me to just post a video and then some pics. But typing up a big long thing and copy editing and proofing, I can't spend a week on an update. So from here on out, I'm just gonna do video blogs, vlogs, and some pics. Like I don't know, once a week, probably every other week. Cause I don't want to fill up your you got an update, you got an update, you got an update. That'll be annoying. Just when's it coming out, Rob? So yeah. Other than that, just check back during the week. I'm always posting on the Facebook page. Sketchcraft.com will take you right there to it. Not a big deal. So cool. I will talk to you all again in about 2 weeks. 2 weeks or so. Thanks. Bye.